Hi folks, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Sitting next to me is the 5th generation Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now the brand says that it's more comfortable, has a nicer interior, and it tows better. And we're gonna put it to the test today with that travel trailer. The Grand Cherokee we are looking at today is a 2022 Summit Reserve. Now under the hood is the 5.7 liter Hemi V8, making 357 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, sent through an 8-speed automatic. Max tow here is 7,200 pounds. So I also mentioned this is a Summit Reserve model, top of the line for Grand Cherokee, and that means you're getting things like those 21-inch wheels, some unique styling bits like body color mirror caps and body color fenders, a unique grille. The front ends are different on every single trim level, so Summit Reserve has a unique front end. And then on the inside, you're getting things like the upgraded infotainment system as standard. You're getting all that beautiful leather and wood inside this model as well. Now, as we roll back, we got to talk about the trailer that we are towing here today. This is a Catalina Summit series, so we're not exactly pushing this Jeep, but of course, towing a travel trailer is always the toughest test, and I'm excited to see how the Grand Cherokee does. Let's take a look at the cameras here, backing into our trailer. You get the overhead and the rear view, wide rear, front and the overhead, and then this should be your hitch-up view right here. And we can also zoom in, so we'll just back up a little bit. And then right here we can zoom in. And boom. Yeah, nice cameras, looking good. Today, thanks to our friends over at Curt, we're also testing out this. This is the Echo wireless brake controller. It works using Bluetooth. Now, no, there is no standard brake controller on this Grand Cherokee, so this is gonna give us trailer brakes today. All you do is you take it, you plug your trailer brakes in, you take the other end of it, you plug it into your vehicle, like so. It comes with this strap to strap around the little flap here, whoopsies, and that's gonna make sure it has a tight hold. And then you got to set up an app on your phone, and it all runs off the phone. So let's cut to inside the Jeep now, so you don't have to watch me struggle with this, and we'll get it all set up. Okay, the brake controller's hooked in. Now we'll see how easy it is to set up. I downloaded the app here on my phone. I went scan for devices. And there it is, Echo brake control. Okay, so we're pairing it now. It does come with this little piece of paper. It has your pin right there on it. 090722 pair, and that'll be unique to your controller. And there we go, pairing successful. Love it. So it really is that easy. Now this is great, just like a lot of vehicles have now with the apps that are built in. You can set up all your different profiles for your specific trailers. All right, now we're underway, and let's just first talk about our brake controller. So far it's working well. We do have it turned all the way up to 90 on the output, 7 on the sensitivity. So the output kind of seems like a high number, but then out here in the real world, it just feels kind of normal all the way up there at 90. Like I mentioned, I won't do it now, but if you just mash this big orange button here, well, you can manually turn on the brakes, which is nice. And then, yeah, I mean, it was simple to set up and get going. And the beauty of this for anybody is the fact that you don't have to wire up a new brake controller into your vehicle. You don't have to worry about mounting it up under the dash. It's all back there behind you and in your phone, so that is nice. Now, you do have to make sure your phone is charged. If your phone dies or becomes disconnected, Curt says that the brake controller will just keep on acting based on the last settings it already had. So that is good news, but still, yeah, if your phone dies, you lose the manual button, you lose the adjustments, so that's one thing you do need to make sure of. But hey, we got wireless charging here in this Grand Cherokee. Anything to add on the brake controller, Dad? It's working like it should, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm real happy about not having to wire something. I'm happy about not having a box hanging down where my knee can hit it.
Exactly.
It's a nice innovation, and even though, you know, I'm the dinosaur who doesn't have a phone these days. So, sure, it'll work.
Now let's talk about this travel trailer behind the Grand Cherokee here. The first feature I want to mention is the 4-corner air suspension. We do have that here on our Summit Reserve, and it works beautifully. You drop the trailer on, you see the back end squat down, the air suspension brings it back up, and you can see it here. The whole rig has a really nice level attitude. That's much appreciated. Now the other thing we have here is this Hemi with the fuel saver MDS. Jeep calls it. That's cylinder deactivation, so it might help us save a couple liters of fuel, but still I think it's going to be pretty thirsty overall. Now, the one thing I've always been surprised at is that here in the Grand Cherokee, they haven't bumped up the power from the Hemi to match the Ram. It doesn't make quite as much horsepower. It's about 50 horsepower less. But I don't know, Dad, how does that feel out here in the real world? You've been pulling this trailer. What are you thinking?
Well, it's a lighter vehicle for starters. I think that this is just my guess, but I'm saying the drop in horsepower, by detuning that engine a little bit, you're going to save a little bit of fuel. And I was going to say it's adequate. No, it's more than adequate. So if you are towing something like this travel trailer right here, you can't even tell it's back there. Frankly, I mean, we know that it'll do more than this as far as weight is concerned, but it just makes this a very, very practical tow vehicle as well as a family vehicle.
Yeah, that is true. You heard the dinging there. It keeps saying check trailer light out. So this is also another feature which is nice when you're towing, is your vehicle now can check on your trailer lights, and if you got a bulb out there somewhere, it will let you know, which is always handy.
Yeah, which is bad because you can no longer just tell the cop, well, I wasn't back there, I can't see it's out.
So it's pulling well. Now the next thing we have to talk about is this updated interior in here, because obviously Jeep really focused on the interior. They didn't focus as much on the powertrains. Now we do have the new 4xe, so there is a plug-in Grand Cherokee, but things like this Hemi just carried over. But it's when you sit inside that you see where all the development money went, and this thing is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I have my own screen over here on the passenger side. You can see it here. That's definitely a unique feature. I think more people will probably emulate it. For me personally, this is my favorite function, having my own navigation map, so I'm able to check out things on my own right in front of me. I don't have to mess with the screen over here if Dad wants to look at his radio or whatever. So this is a pretty cool feature. And then outside of that, just look at all the materials. This wood is absolutely beautiful. It's wrapped with this chrome finish. The leather feels nice and looks good. You get a different leather on the dash than you do down here with this cream color. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can find anything to complain about in here, Dad. It's beautiful.
No, for a change, you get into this vehicle and I believe as it sits at $76,000.
86.
Or pardon me.
Yeah, 10, okay. 10 shy.
I was trying to give you guys a deal. 86.
Yeah.
And, you know, for a change, I get in, and my first impression of most high-priced vehicles is this is what I'm getting for that much money, but I don't feel that in here. And here I actually feel like, yeah, I can see where the money went. And to that extent, I also want to put in that Jeep is taking a page out of Ram's playbook, which was, you know what, they didn't spend a lot of money on transmissions and engines and various other mechanical developments, but they did spend a lot of money on their interiors.
Now, we normally say this, and I think that if someone was to buy even this rig, you'd recommend an equalizing hitch just to tighten it up a little bit. Because that's the one thing I'm feeling over here, Dad, is the suspension maybe a little floaty feeling, not kind of really tight. You getting that a little bit too?
You're getting a little bit of kickback, more so than what you're used to because of the airbags. The airbags are definitely got a bit more of a it's just a rebound rate is different.
It's different.
Yeah. So, frankly, the equalizing hitch is more about this than it is about this. So it's always good to have because the less fishtailing you get, the better. Mm-hmm. However, with this one, you're just going to get used to it because it's airbags.
You're right, and there's been no side to side. It feels rock solid side to side, even pulling it up that hill, max acceleration. One disappointing thing I do have to point out is that there is still no tow haul mode here on the Grand Cherokee. We have it in auto. You get rock, sand and mud, snow, sport, and auto. Now in the auto, the idea is that it will automatically adjust. If it thinks you need an earlier downshift because you're driving with a lot of weight behind you, it'll start doing that on its own. However, I still just think with a tow rating of 7,200 pounds, it'd be nice to have an actual dedicated tow haul mode. Oof. That was a power sneeze.
Yeah. Sorry. Also, no tow haul mirrors. Pardon me, no towing mirrors.
Yeah.
You will have to go to the aftermarket to get some clip-ons because I can't see down the sides of the trailer.
Now we're really going to test the power. This is part of our travel trailer towing loop. We come around this corner, we hit this highway right here, and hammer down. Now we immediately start going up a hill as well. Oh, okay, Dad's gonna come to the dead stop this time. This is a true test. We have a moment. We don't normally have this much time on this road. Come on, phone, find your GPS. It can take a second to get set. Ready for the race, Dad, hit it. Whoa, it jumps. Again, I said this is uphill. There is 100. That was a 17.9, 0 to 100. And just as a reminder, this trailer, it's empty today. It's about 4,300 pounds right in that neck of the woods. So it's not a small load, and 17 seconds is perfectly respectable for that big of a trailer. Plus, like I mentioned, it felt like it really jumped when you kicked it off the line.
Yeah, and it was a normal mode as well.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're coming to the end of this one. Now, I mentioned this is the 5th generation Grand Cherokee. It is a new architecture, and I think Jeep pretty much did everything they set out to do. It's nicer inside, it drives a little bit nicer, and based on what we just did, yeah, I think that 7,200 number is actually a pretty true number for this Grand Cherokee. So I'm feeling good about it. What are you feeling at the end of the day?
You know, not everybody is a truck guy. And in the last decade or so, there's been this attitude that if you're tow, you need to own a truck. But the reality is there's guys out there who are never going to use a truck bed. So to buy a truck just to tow, you don't have to do that if you buy this. This is your vehicle, and it works really, really well.
Yeah, I absolutely would agree with that. Now, of course, though, we want to hear from you. So why don't you go down in the comments and let us know what you think of the Grand Cherokee. As always, while you're down there, hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we're testing and towing next. See ya.
Bye-bye.